I know that you have some other texts. I know that you
Yeah, they were only to emphasize how regularly drunkenness is related to being happy, like sameach. So
mhm,
that idea of
mhm,
merriment is there in Hebrew as well.
yeah.
So there is very much drunkenness has a positive connotation. You drink until your heart is merry. That occurs in
Mhm.
multiple texts. So I just wanted to emphasize those texts in order to show that the Bible is not saying don't get drunk. It's not saying avoid alcohol. If anything, it's saying this is part of having a good life. This is part of happiness. This is part of what makes us social beings, is drinking together, feasting,
And
developing bonds.
and you mentioned it earlier in Ruth, where part of the strategy is to get him when he has a lave toe from his drinking. He has a good, I mean,
Yeah.
literally good heart, but it means he's feeling really good up here. So he's feeling good, or really lave tove, and maybe that's an entirely separate investigation of the phrase lave tove with regards to drinking. So
Yeah, that
but
would
as
be
you,
interesting.
yeah, as you point out, it's not negatively valenced. And I mean, we have here, it is interesting thinking about the negative aspects because in the cup of wrath motifs, it definitely is. There's no question that the drunkenness there is to the incapacitation aspect, not fully in control of one's faculties.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that the main text that is the strongest on drunkenness as negative is
mhm.
Proverbs 23. It's quite
Love
a
that.
long passage, and it provides lots of different reasons about why you should avoid alcohol consumption. So this is one of the ones that I really had, like, when I wanted to make this argument that the Bible is positive about drunkenness. This was one of the ones that I had to like really think about. It's verses 29 to 35. This is a funny translation you've got here. Do not ogle that red wine. I like that. Yeah. So who cries woe, who cries alas, who has quarrels, complaints, wounds without cause, bleary eyes, those whom wine keeps till the small hours, who gather to drain the cups. Do not ogle that red wine as it lends its colour to the cup, as it flows on smoothly. In the end, it bites like a snake, it spits like a basilisk. Your eyes will see strange things, your heart will speak distorted things. You'll be like one lying in bed on high seas, like one lying on top of the rigging. They struck me, but I felt no hurt. They beat me, but I was unaware. As often as I wake, I go after it again. So I think that this is one of the like kind of most difficult texts to deal with for making the case that alcohol is positive. But the thing is, even though it says all these things, even though it says, yeah, you might get injured, it'll probably make you stagger around. You'll feel dizzy like you're on a boat getting seasick. You might speak nonsense or see things that aren't there. It never says it's sinful. It never says it's
Hmm.
actually wrong. It never says it's immoral. It never says it's going to, you know, it's saying, yeah, it's going to make you feel a bit weird, but it's not saying it's this thing that God will punish you for. It's not
Hmm.
saying that it's this thing that if you are to be a good Israelite or a good Jew, you should avoid it. There's
Yeah.
nowhere in the Bible that says don't become drunk.
I mean, it's also interesting thinking about the book of Proverbs, where it's all about being a productive member of society and not sleeping and not drinking. So it's like that's part of the overall message of that book.